Dr. Anita McLaughlin, a transformational counselor, mentor, chaplain, author, and entrepreneur, and you have just entered a diamond moment. Diamonds are produced through time, heat, and pressure. The cut, clarity, and size of the raw diamond determine its use. The use of the stone adds to its value. Life's diamonds are produced, processed, and valued the same way. This is the place to unlock and process the challenges of your life. Ascribe value, determine worth, and then put these valuable lessons to work so that you can fulfill your destiny. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate your support of the podcast and of the message that we have. Becoming is a process, and that process of becoming who you were destined to be has stages, and we must walk through the stages of our process. In the past, we've been doing some evaluating of some of the previous lessons that we have. We've gone through challenging limiting behaviors, and in that we're looking now at what is holding us back. What can we attribute to the fact that we have not accomplished the goals that we'd set out for our lives? A few episodes back, I shared with you a song that I love. It has been something that I think about and utilize in my own life, and it was an old song by a group called Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. And in that, they make a statement. And the statement is that God made us to be anything we want to be free, to be who we are. And I started thinking about that. I answered a question yesterday on wisdom. If you're not a part of the wisdom community, I highly would encourage you to become a part of the wisdom community. There are a lot of people sharing a lot of messages, being able to give you a platform so that you're not starting at the bottom. You're not starting at zero. You're able to utilize experiences of mentors and others in order to give you a jump ahead. But there was a question that was asked, and it was talking about what is the definition of freedom? So again, I've been thinking about this song. God made us to be anything we want to be free, to be who we are. And I answered that question in this way. Freedom is the ability to live our lives without limiting ideas or concepts put on us by ourselves or others. Yeah, we can put limitations on ourselves through our experiences. And we can also succumb to the limitations that others have put on us. I believe that freedom stems from within, and that you can be free in your mind and your heart, even if you're not able to be free from a physical perspective. So what do you mean by that? Sometimes people are held in places where they're not free to go and do and be. Maybe they have health challenges. Maybe they're in a limiting environment. Maybe they're not old enough or have the appropriate self-realization to be that. But we can be free in our minds. I followed by saying I believe that freedom allows you to accomplish your greatest goals without the limitations of looking to someone else for what they're doing and where they're going. Freedom truly sets you free to be all that you have within yourself to be. And I believe this. I believe that sometimes we're limited when we begin to look around and see what someone else is doing, what they have, what their gifts are, what their talent is, and then bring it back into our own lives and say, well, I'm not able to do that. I'm not that strong. I don't have their ability. But what you do have is the ability that God gave you. God made us to be anything that we want to be free, to be who we are. Life is an individual process. And we have to look at our lives individually, disconnected from the accomplishments of someone else. We can live in a family with a sibling or be in a community where people are just mega gifted. And that's not what we have. But if we use what we have been given, I guarantee you that you will be able to fulfill your destiny and your role in this life. I want to tie this in to what we've been talking about and what's holding you back. What is your perception of what's holding you back? And if we look at it and say, well, it's other people. We talked about implications of race and racism. We talked about the political climate, what's going on. And I want to follow through with that again, because in the United States, we have recently concluded an election. We now know the outcome of the majority of those political races, and we can see how it will affect us in the future. I said to you in one of those previous episodes about politics, why would you allow someone who has a generational perspective to hold you back? Why would you not speak up? I gave you some examples of some people that I heard in interviews say that they just don't vote because they don't feel like their voice matters. One gentleman said that he felt that he was too small and that he was just like a little ant. And we talked about how much power an ant has. But now I want to put it to you this way, because we're at a very strategic point in which the determination of one runoff election to take place in December will, in essence, determine whether we move forward or whether we stay stagnant and held back, whether we review past insults or whether we're able to put aside someone else's insult and move forward in our own lives. There's one political party in the United States that's dealing with just that. A leader had what they perceived as an insult, and now you've got people who were not involved in that situation weighing in and slowing down, determining that they're going to extract revenge on someone else for what this person experienced in their perception as injustice, while not evaluating their role in what they were experiencing. And that again rolls back to life is an individual process. In order for us to establish and to pull out the diamonds in our lives, we have to be willing to look at the areas when maybe we made a decision that was not as beneficial as it could have been had we thought it through. Maybe if this person had thought about the things that they were doing and not positioned themselves above all consequences, they wouldn't be in the shape that they're in. So we got a number of people that are trying to get them out of that jam, as opposed to allowing them to experience the consequences of their behavior, looking at that information and choosing to live your life in a different way. When we're looking at freedom, as I said, it allows you to accomplish your greatest goals without the limitation of looking to someone else for what they're doing and where they're going. Life is an individual process. There are times in life where we have to step away from our friends. We have to make decisions for ourselves. We have to look at what is best for us. When we don't do that, we come into a shared reality that may not be what we were hoping for. We have to step up in our own lives and determine the direction of our lives. When we don't speak out, when we don't participate in the system, whether you like it or not, whether you think that it's crooked or that all politicians are crooked and nothing ever gets done, as I said before, if you don't speak out, you have no voice. You have nothing that you can complain about because you did not participate in the system. And if you don't participate, as we've discussed, you actually have participated because somebody factored in your silence so that they could have victory. When we look at what's at stake right now in the United States, we have the ability to move bills through the Senate, but they have to first go through the House. We've had some things that I believe would have really benefited the people of the United States, but they were held back by two representatives who were very tied into special interest groups. Because they were working on behalf of those special interest groups, they were effectively able to block legislation. Among that legislation was a Voting Rights Act that they would not vote on because part of their constituency in the South is trying to disenfranchise marginalized voters, trying to remove the voting rights. And one of these people that they needed in such a slim margin of 50-50 refused to sign into that Voting Rights Act, and therefore the voting rights of a very large segment of our population are still at risk. In the same way, we've seen gun legislation where we've seen children murdered in classrooms, children who are being taught active shooter drills. Hold a book up to your head like a book is going to block the velocity of that bullet coming to kill our children. And a particular group who have sided with the special interest gun lobby are standing in the way of gun legislation. Being able to control that second house, the House of Representatives, ensures that legislation that protects us and protects our children and protects our lives can be passed, because we would have the ability to overcome the objections of the senators or the representatives that we have seen standing in the way. Your voice actually does matter. Our freedom, the ability to live our lives without limiting ideas or concepts put on us or by ourselves or others, is very much at play. Freedom stems from within, and we can be free in our mind and our heart, even if we're not able to be free from a physical perspective. We can still utilize our ability to be free. Freedom allows us to accomplish our greatest goals without the limitations of looking to someone else for what they're doing and where they're going. Freedom truly sets us free to be all that we have to be within ourselves. Life is an individual process, and we have to stand up and speak for ourselves. Don't allow your silence to play into someone else's victory.
Thank you for listening, and join me next time as we redefine the previous steps of your process. Never forget, becoming is a process. A process has stages. One small change changes everything. So invest in yourself. Please visit my website at www.DrAnitaMc.com. That's DrAnitaMc.com for links and additional information. And please rate the podcast if you're enjoying it.